Hey guys, welcome to Kromatone Cosplay. It is the holiday season. I hope all of you had a very happy and safe holiday with your family, your friends, whoever you hold dear and near to your heart. We're a little too poor for cosplay right now because we got a lot of gifts for our friends and family. So today we're just going to be doing a very simple makeup tutorial. I'm going to be using the beautiful Ninjakec Sam as our model today. And I'm just going to be going through a couple of products and things that I like to use, and maybe you'll like to use them too. By no means am I a professional, but I do this a lot, so we'll see how it goes. So when I start my makeup off, I like to start with a moisturizer. I prefer using the Yes brand of stuff because I have very sensitive baby skin, and I find that this stuff doesn't make me break out. It's pretty hypoallergenic and it doesn't have an SPF, which bothers me. Basically just use what works for you, use what you like. This is what works for me. Now Sam already has a moisturizer on, so I'm not going to be putting any on her today. Now, step 2 is your foundation. This is something that I like to put a little bit of money into because I don't use foundation all that often. I use it every once in a while, so I will spend a little more money on it. Like I said before, I've got sensitive skin. So thankfully, Sam and I are pretty similar skin tone, so I'm going to be using this on her. Now, I've got the Naked by Urban Decay, and it is in the lightest tone, which is 1, because I'm pale as hell, and also a little pink. I find that most lighter tones have more of a yellow shade to them, which doesn't really work for my skin tone, doesn't really work for me. So again, go to your makeup store, find what works for you. So I'm gonna give this a good old shake before I put it on her face. So there's a couple ways that you can apply this. You can apply it with a brush, or what I prefer to do, which is a beauty blender or makeup sponge. Whoop, whoop. And I've already pre-wet this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. 2 pumps, 1 stomp. And then I apply it with the sponge directly onto the face. You can also put it on the sponge and then onto your face, but I prefer to use it from the hand. I feel like I have more control. I'm gonna just scoop that on up.
Oh jeez.
Oh jeez.
It's on my...
Yeah, you're doing just fine. Okay. And then I like to start just with little dabbing motions just to get that excess off in the most important spots. And then just beat that down.
Sammy is saying hi.
Blend that in. And now a good foundation should be able to blend slightly into your hairline and look pretty seamless on your skin just to even things out. This is a lighter coverage foundation. If you prefer or you need something that's a heavier cover, by all means that'll work for you. Just the lighter works for me. You can also mix your foundation with your moisturizer or a BB cream, or you can get a tinted moisturizer or a tinted BB cream if you want even lighter coverage. And there she is, nice and blended. Nice and blended.
I have a skin.
Oh, a skin. Now it's time for a concealer. I like to go with a concealer that is 1 shade lighter than my foundation. I feel like it brings up a little more dimension on your face and helps cover up some of those darker areas on your face if that's what you're using for. I primarily use this to cover up bags under my eyes because, like every cosplayer, I lack sleep and I'm a little bit of a night owl. You can also use it to cover any kind of blemishes that you have, but just use it sparingly, and sometimes you might want to use a color corrector cream, which comes in all kinds of colors. Go to your local Sephora or your Ulta or your Macy's counter, and some very nice human person will help you out. So with this, I have the Match Perfection by Rimmel, which has a nice little applicator brush. And how I like to do this is you just give it a little bit of a squeeze to get some of that product out on the brush.
Whoa. fancy.
And then you apply it, and have you look up. You can leave your eyes open. Then you're going to apply it in a triangular shape under your eye. Do the other eye too, unless you're a pirate. And then you only have to do one. And she's just getting light coverage, so we're just going to do a little bit. And then use the pointed end of your sponge, or your finger, whatever you prefer. Maybe you can look up for me. And then just blend that in. And if a little bit gets on your eyelid, that's fine.
Like
You doing
weird
okay
about
there?
my eyes, yeah.
And try not to poke. If you're doing this on someone else, try not to poke them in the eye. It's just common courtesy. A lot of people like to do their eye makeup before they do the rest of their face. I prefer to do my face before I do my eyes. That's just what works for me. So find what works best for you and take that on the road with you. So my next step is a eyeshadow primer. I like the Shadow Insurance by Too Faced. I've had this tube for about 2 years, and I've only used an itty bitty bit of it because a little bit of it goes a long way. Now this is a cream, and you're just gonna get a little dollop on your finger, like that. And then you're gonna boop boop, and then just blend it onto the eyelid. And what this will do is we'll blend out the crease in your eye a little bit and help your shadow adhere for a longer period of time, especially if you have a loose powder or a something that's got a lot of glitter in it. It will lay smoother on your eyelid. And again, gentle taps, not hard taps. Itty bitty gentle ones. Okay.
Jab my eyes.
All right, and now we're gonna move on to eyeshadow. And now, if you're not familiar with using eyeshadow, or you kind of have no good way to start, there are a lot of really good templates online, or you can go ahead and get a palette like this, which is, this one's by e.l.f., and it has every single step of your shadow titled. So you'll have your base, your lid, your crease, and your liner. You can use them in that order if you want, or you can do whatever works for you, but how I'm going to be applying her makeup today is in this order, with going lightest to darkest. So for my base, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Pulp Fiction palette, which I absolutely love. It has a lot of very stunning, very neutral colors, but the pigment payout is real high. So I'm going to be starting with my base with Righteous, which is a very nice peachy cream color. I'm just going to get a little bit of that on my brush. And starting at the corner of her eye, I'm going to pat that color in. You are going to get a little bit of fallout, and that's just fine. We'll clean that up here in a minute. And I'm just using this to even out the eyelid and the skin tone. I'll get some of that fallout out of here with this nice fluffy brush. Alright, so now that we've got our base on, we're going to move into our lid. And for Sam's lid, I'm going to be using still the Pulp Fiction palette. I'm going to be using this soft nut brown called Tyranny. Now these are all matte shades, so they don't have much glitter in them. But I will be pulling a glitter very soon, because we know me. So again, I've got a little bit on my brush right there. And I'm going to pack this on in the center, or on the ball of her eyelid. And it's going to look stripey for a minute until I blend these out. So next I'm going to be moving on to my Kat Von D Ludwig palette, which, as you can see, has been very well loved. Now this has a little more shimmer. I absolutely love this palette. Unfortunately, Kat Von D does not carry, they don't carry it anymore. This was a Sephora exclusive, but all of her stuff is really high pigmented and cruelty free and just fantastic. So I'm going to be going in to, my color called Downtown.
It's inconvenient that it's on the bottom.
I know, isn't that inconvenient? That's the only thing I don't like about this palette, is that the colors are on the back. But this is my favorite color on this palette, and it is called Downtown, and it is this copper. And I'm going to be using that for the crease. So I'm going to go ahead and pack that onto this smaller brush, just like so. I don't know why I closed that, so I'm going to need it. And I'm going to pack this in to that crease, like I promised, and start a shape that I'm going for. Now Sam has a little more of an almond shaped eye, so we're going to go for more of a, we're going to accentuate that. And your eye will tell you where this is supposed to go. You might not be able to see it very well, but there is a very clear space right here between her eyeball and her brow bone, and that's where I'm applying that color. And now we're still looking a little splotchy and stripey right now, so never fear. I'm gonna go in with a nice fluffy brush. This is a blending crease brush by Sephora. This came in a set, which I'm very fond of. It is a synthetic brush. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna start at the crease, and you're gonna blend in a circular motion, and then just kind of sweep that off a little bit so you're not transferring that color, that darker color, into your lighter color. And then you're taking from the corner of the eye and blending that stripe out. So you have a nice even fade. Now we're going to move on to liner. And now there are a couple different kinds of liners that I like to use. Some people like to use pencil liners, and that's great for a more natural look. I like bad bitch eyeliner, so I use liquid or felt tip. My felt tip that I'm using right now is my L'Oreal The Infallible Black Buster, which is just a Sharpie for your face. I also like the liquid or the felt tip by e.l.f., which is a little smaller. You get a little more control, a little narrower of a line. Or if you're really feeling frisky, I like the Line Stiletto by Maybelline. That is in fact a paintbrush.
Oh gee.
These are all really nice. I prefer liquid because I feel like it gives me a little more control for the kind of wing that I do. And so I'm going to be doing a little bit of a baby wing liner on Sam. So I'm going to be using my marker by e.l.f. Now what I like, the only thing I don't like about this is that the cap doesn't fit on the back. But you know.
That's the worst.
What are you going to do? It's a first world problem and I'm going to complain about it. So how I apply eyeliner, kind of like the wing that I've got right now, I'm going to be doing that, only a smaller version for Sam. So I'm going to start right at the center of her lid along the lash line and stay as close to the lash line as you can, and in small strokes move my way out and a little bit away from the lash line. So scratch that. I'm gonna be using my big boy because the other one was running out of ink. So same thing, starting close to the lash line and pulling away. Now I like to take this and move towards my eye to get that nice little point. It'll kind of work like a stamp. And once you have one eye perfect, move on with your life. You'll never get the other one to look the same. No, I'm just kidding. With practice, you can get both of them to look like sisters. Maybe not twins, but you're not symmetrical anyway, so just roll with it. Now, because I'm right-handed and I'm used to doing this on myself, I'm going to be going from the outside in. Sometimes that works better for people. So just figure out what works for you. Now, if you mess up, the nice thing about liquid is that if you lick a Q-tip, you can pull this off pretty easily. And by lick a Q-tip, I mean lick a Q-tip and then, like, you know, dab. You can't just lick. You get it. And if you do one that's a little bit bigger than the other, you can always add more. And if you roll up to a place and somebody tells you that you don't have to wear that much makeup,
you're legally allowed to kill them.
give them eyeballs and just be like, bitch, I know. Because no, you don't have to. But you can if you want to. You can also not wear makeup ever. That's fine too.
It's legal in 47 states.
47 states
Yeah.
to punch somebody right in the dick.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the vagina, because you know what? We're equal opportunity here at Kromatone Cosplay. In the contiguous United States, it's legal to kill somebody for them telling you you don't have to wear that much makeup. Back up. So now we have an eyeliner. Now I'm going to move on to mascara, which usually my day-to-day look is like, if I'm rushing out the door and just want to wear look like a person a little bit, I'll put on a wing and some mascara. So these two products right here, this e.l.f. mascara, which it's $1. I've tried fancy mascaras, and yes, they are better, but cost effectiveness, if you're using it every single day, just go with the cheap stuff, especially if it doesn't give you any kind of irritation on your eyes. Go with that. I prefer the not waterproof because that stuff, you need to use some sort of magic to get it off your face, and I'm not about that. Unless I know I'm going somewhere where I'm going to cry. Then waterproof. But this e.l.f. mascara and this Black Buster, both in darkest black, like my soul, are my ride or dies every day. These are usually in my purse, or they're on my person somewhere every day. These bad boys come with me. So I'm going to be using this on Sam. And now, a lot of people, when they're doing mascara, will pump the mascara. Don't do that. It'll dry your mascara out. It's pushing air into the tube. So just pull straight out. And if you have a little bit of excess, it's okay to wipe that off on the top rim. So you're going to take this, you're going to go with your eyes open. You can look straight ahead at me. And with little vibrating motions, ooh, you're okay.
This is like the hardest for me.
And it takes a little getting used to. And you can also blink into it if that works better for you. We're getting a little raccoon eye over here. Now we got a little smudgety. So what I'm gonna show you is I'm gonna go get Q-tips. Time out. Now, since Sam's not used to wearing makeup, she did blink into the mascara a little bit hard. So she does have a little bit of smudge. I'm just gonna turn your head a little bit. She has a little bit of smudge right here and right there. So nice thing about getting the non-waterproof mascara is it'll come right up, especially if you get it soon. So I usually lick a Q-tip, but for Sam's sake, I ran this under the faucet right before I came back. So what you do is you take one wet end and one dry end. You take the wet end and you just dab it onto the areas that need to be lifted.
Wow, it's way up there.
Oh, you just got long lashes.
Which is bad if you wear glasses.
It is, and you just dab and it'll come right up. Ross didn't dab off screen, so what you gonna do? And then she has a little bit under her eye too. So if you want to open your eyes and look up, and again, just dab it out. And use your dry end so that it doesn't get too smudgy. And it ain't no thing but a chicken wing. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So there we have it. A very eyeball. This is a very simple kind of look, daytime. If you want to add a little more glitter onto it for nighttime, then you can pizzazz it up. Or go with a neutral lip for the day, and then pop a red lip on there for nighttime. And girl, look at you. New Year's Eve, daytime with your family, put a sparkly lip on there for the nighttime. You're ready to go out. So for lips, we have a couple different options. I think for this look, I'm gonna put a red lip on her. I have lip pencil and I have a liquid lipstick. I prefer liquid lipsticks because I feel like they last a little bit longer, especially this long-lasting Kat Von D in Outlaw. So with liquid lipsticks, they take a little bit to get a hang of, and you want to let them dry before you do anything with your mouth. So how this goes is much like the mascara, you just kind of dip it, pull that bad boy out, wipe off a little of that excess, and it's got a nice tapered end, so you have a little more control. So go ahead and just open your mouth like, ha. And I like to start from the corner and work my way in. And very gently line the edge of the lip. I prefer not to go too far into the corners. That's because I have a smaller mouth. And when I do go far in the corners, I look like a frog, so that's no good for me. But if it works for you, by all means, do what you gotta do. Overline, underline, double line, you do you. And then go into that upper lip. Now, upper lip, I like to overline just a little bit. And really get into that Cupid's bow, which is that little part right under your nose. How you doing under there? A-okay. Make sure that your model isn't secretly dying or trying to kill you. And then just let that dry a little bit. And this particular lipstick will last for me for like 12 hours, which is really surprising for lipstick. Because some people I know, they like, for me, I'll be like, yeah, 12-hour lipstick, great. Yeah, try me. It'll come off in 2 minutes, but this will actually stick around. So I highly, highly recommend this. All right, now moving on to my favorite part and the rest of the internet's favorite part, highlighters. And I don't mean yellow highlighters or green highlighters, the highlighters I had in my backpack when I was in 6th grade. I mean the sparkly kind. Now I'm going to be using Sugar Pill's Little Twin Stars palette. You guys have seen me use this before. It is an eyeshadow palette, but it has a lot of nice hues and tones for highlighters that aren't too pigmented and aren't too holographic.
It's sparkle time.
It is sparkle time.
It's sparkle time.
It's sparkle time. So for Sam, I'm going to be using this nice pink shade called Sky Candy. Right here on the bottom.
Sky candy.
And I'm going to be using my Sephora angled brush. And just get a little bit of that on there. Brush off blow out the fallout, because God knows it likes to be places. And I'm going to bring this into her cheekbone. And just give her a little bit of a dusting. And the same for the other side. And this one, since it is a nice peachy pink, it's going to add a little bit of color and a little bit of blush effect as well. Now Sam has really nice bone structure.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So I'm just going to dust a little bit of that on her chin too, just to give a little bit of shine, and a little bit onto the bridge of her nose as well. Just to bring those features forward. And just to enhance that really nice bone structure, I'm going to take a nice fluffy pointed brush. Again, a Sephora brush. This one is my highlight plus contour brush. And since Sam is a little fairer skin like I am, instead of using a contouring palette or a contouring or bronzing pad, I'm going to be using, again, my Kat Von D, and I'm going to be using one of my matte colors. And this one is Baroque. So just dab a little bit of that on there. Huh?
So am I.
Baroque, and I'm going to mix that with this lighter kind of wheat color just to give it a little more dimension. I'm going to bring it that from here up to about the hollow of her cheek. So I'm going to start on this side and just in little circular motions. And I'm going to give a little shout out to Nikki Tutorials, because us pale girls, pale round face girls, needed to learn how to contour, and honey, you saved my life. Thank you. I know I'm not a pro like you, but you at least got me a little something. I'm also going to bring a little bit of this color into her jawline just to add a little more dimension. Because honestly, the reason you contour is because you want to go from, you know, this to cutting glass or the souls or the toxic people out of your life for this beautiful new year. Now, as you've probably noticed, these lines are looking still a little bit harsh, so I'm going to take this big fluffy brush and just blend those in just a little bit more. Just so that we're not looking too brown or lined out. All right, now when that's all said and done, I like to take a matte setting powder, which is a step that you can do or you don't have to. I also use a setting spray, which I'll be using both just because I feel like it locks everything in. But I like this translucent setting powder, and I just give it a big ol' swirl, brush off the excess, and then just go wherever things are still looking a little damp or things need to be blended a little bit. And now the last step is the Urban Decay All-Nighter Spray, which, if you read the reviews on Sephora, are pretty funny. Apparently some girl got hit by a car and her makeup was still on fleek after she had cried her eyes out in the ER. She was fine, but she still looked hella good. So this you just give a shake.
Got like one of my hairs. There it is.
And then go ahead and close your eyes. And you're going to want to mist this from about this far away. And then just go in a... There you go. And there you have it. Something that started absolutely stunning and now looks like it could fuck your shit up. But in the best of ways. So thank you, Sam Ninjakec, for being my unwitting and very, very calm model. Check her out on Instagram and Facebook. She's a pretty talented illustrator. All her links will be down below. You can find my links for Instagram, Facebook, also down below. And also our cameraman, Belphion. You can find his stuff down below. Hit subscribe, hit that bell, follow us if you like this content, leave a comment, leave a like. And if you want to see us do something here on Kromatone Cosplay, leave us a suggestion. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.